Today I'm going to be making a video that I thought I would never do on YouTube. I'm happy I get to do it, I never thought it would be requested or an interest of mine. But today, we are going to be going through and ranking every Pokemon game ever. Well, I shouldn't say ever, the main series games, not the spin-offs. If you guys didn't know, I'm still a Pokemon nerd. I always have been a Pokemon nerd, and for the most part, I have at least tried every game at least once. There are some I love, there are some I hate, and today we're going to distinguish the differences. One quick thing before we head into the video, hop over to gfuel.com, use code WyattzWorld, save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. My code is 30% off from today all the way till the 6th, so hey. Alright, enough plugging, let's get into ranking all the Pokemon games. Alright, back at the tier list we are, and it might look like we're gonna have a ton of things to go through, but I'm not gonna make it that way because we're gonna be doing it in generations. So, starting off, we've got the OGs. We've got green, which was the Japanese, we've got blue, red, and yellow. Back in the day, these were fantastic, elite, above average. Right now, they're just fine. And the only reason I'm saying that is because of the stuff we have now. These games just don't offer enough to keep the average person entertained in today's world. There's no endgame besides catching Mewtwo. There's only 150 Pokemon to get. People can beat it in literally 24 hours. I don't think Pokemon had abilities yet. The attacks were dry. Looking at it now, it's just fine. These games, in my opinion, though, will always have the best gym leaders. Moving on, we got Gen 2, which was Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Guys, believe me on this one, nostalgia just punched me so hard in the face the last time I tried to play Gold. You need to hear me out. Again, back in the day, fantastic. I think they were better than these ones. But right now, specifically, these three games, we'll get to the remakes later, but these three I think are only good for really one playthrough. Again, there wasn't abilities then. The attacks were very, very dry. It focused heavily on the second generation of Pokemon during the first part of the game, which was obviously the point, but they weren't the best Pokemon to use, and you couldn't really get the older ones that you needed to evolve with stones and stuff until you beat the first 8 gyms. The map is amazing. The fact that you get 2 regions in one game is something that I can't believe they haven't continued to do. But if you play them now, it feels like a long ass grind because your Pokemon aren't that good and it's just not as entertaining. Up next, we've got Gen 3, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. They're elite. This was like, you know, as a kid, I got to play these ones a little bit before, but I didn't really ever get into them. I played a lot of Pokemon Stadium on the N64. So when I finally got a Game Boy Advance, one Christmas, my grandma asked me what I wanted. I drew a very shitty picture of Groudon, and I said I want the Pokemon game with the dinosaur on it. I've played that game so much more than any other Pokemon game, it's absolutely laughable. This is where they introduce the abilities like Intimidate, Sturdy, Nervousness, all that good stuff. The Pokemon looked so crisp and clean, the sprites were cool. The map was amazing, there was new moves like Dive and Waterfall. It's a game that I would seriously just run through the first 8 gyms and just immediately restart. Next in the line that came out would have been Leaf Green and Fire Red, remakes of the originals, and these ones were above average. These were great because they incorporated everything that I just said that came new in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Plus, there was a ton of endgame in this. There was a battle island. There was actually like 8 different islands. There was a bunch of legendaries. You could get Gen 2, Gen 3. The only knock I have on these games is without trading, it's hard to do a lot of the shit in the end game. And I mean, who has a Game Boy now? But I'd still say the first 20 hours that you're playing it until you beat the Elite Four is absolutely great. Moving on, we got the next generation, and this was the first of the DS, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. So I have the remake of Pearl now, but I played Platinum back when I was a kid. I won't put them in the Elite category, but I think they're above average. I had just as much fun as a kid as I did now. You got the Grand Underground, which is basically a second map. There's tons of endgame, loads of legendaries to catch, so much exploring. It's the first game that they allowed you to sprint inside buildings too, so the movement just got picked up like an extra mile. However, I will say it was like the last classic Pokemon game, the last one that felt classic. And that would bring us to the next set of releases, and that is Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Elite games, these are the best. I said these were home because they are. These are the best games because it fixes everything that's wrong with them back when they were, you know, the older ones. Up-to-date moves, up-to-date Pokemon, up-to-date types. The end game was fun. They even had a little side quest where you could kind of be part of Team Rocket. Plus your Pokemon followed you and it was kick-ass. I genuinely believe these were the most beautiful put together Pokemon games that were ever created. And that would bring us to Black and White. So I played Black, and I thought they were good for a playthrough. They weren't bad, but they just, they weren't the most fun. I thought the Pokemon got pretty goofy in this generation. I thought it was way too story-driven around the legendaries too. However, Black 2 and White 2, I might sound like an idiot when I'm trying to explain it, but they were above average. They were so much better. They just added little things into the game, like the Battle Tower and the Battle Tree, where if you beat it, you got a shiny Dratini or Gable. These games also had triple battles. I think these two did as well. Those were pretty fun. And you could catch just about any Pokemon in the game, so you could really explore so many options. They really were just a better version of the first games. And moving on, we got the 3DS era, and boy, oh boy, I am going to rip it to fucking bits. So I'm not actually certain what came out before X and Y or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I can't remember. I want to say it was X and Y. These games were my least played game ever. Hated it, fucking hated it, still fucking hate it. The starters are stupid. The legendaries are stupid. You get a Charmander by like the second gym. That's when I quit, by the way. As soon as I got the Charmander, I said, no, fuck this. I think that was also the game where you could get on like your Rhydon or Rhyhorn and you could ride him through fucking barrels and shit. There was way too many little gimmicks that they tried to implement that just ended up being annoyances. Really doesn't help when your starters are just horrendous. Like, that is one of the worst beginnings to a game I've ever seen. They started off looking cool. They ended as just, ugh. Anyway, moving on, we will go to Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. These games were above average, but shockingly, I don't think they were as good as the originals. And I think I'm partly blinded by nostalgia, but another reason is I think they kind of fucked with the story a little bit, if I can remember it right. Like, they changed it, and it kind of started to go off the rails with me, like the whole Primal Groudon and shit. Like, I wasn't about it. But I still think they're one of the better Pokemon games that have ever been released, honestly. And that would bring us to Sun and Moon. Well, actually, I'm not gonna lie. I never even tried Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon because I hated Sun and Moon, I think maybe more than I hated X and Y. One of the starters has a fucking bow and arrow. Like, that was where Pokemon was making a game and they were literally sitting in the studio going, big jack cat that looks like a fucking human, a goddamn poodle. Honestly, I don't think I even beat a gym in those games. I think I got to the gym and I was like, fuck this. Alright, moving on, we've got Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I just realized we are now in the Switch games. These are good for a playthrough. I have beaten them once, but that was a long time ago. It's a remake of Fire Red, Leaf Green, Red, Blue, Yellow. But the thing about it is it's played like Pokemon Go. Like, you battle the same, and the story is the same, the gym leaders are the same. It's a gorgeous looking game, but the way you fight and capture random Pokemon, it's Pokemon Go. And if I want to do that, I do it on my phone. Following those two, we've got Sword and Shield. No. I've beaten Shield, I don't like it. They took away the free roam of the game. They took away that entire aspect. They fucking hold your hand, they give your party unlimited XP, and they walk you through the game. It's basically a movie, and all you do is sit there and just hammer A. You don't lose a battle, you don't even have to try. And that would bring us to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Fine. Way too fucking easy. Again, the Universal Party XP, it takes out any challenge in the game. Yeah, you can free roam and stuff because it's a remaster of the old one, which is awesome, but there's zero challenge. Like, what the fuck? And finally, we've got Pokemon Legends Arceus, a game that I hated and a game that I ended up loving. I'll put it above average, but I want to point something out. How you catch Pokemon and everything on it is amazing. They added some very cool new techniques. The amount of dialogue in that game makes me literally want to chop off my own leg. It is absolutely unacceptable. If you don't care about the lore or the canon or anything about Pokemon, you are going to fucking hate this game. So please, be like me and just power through it. Power through the dialogue. But Pokemon, like, seriously, I think you guys are just absolute fucking clowns for not adding like a skip dialogue feature. And there we have it for me ranking every Pokemon game in the main series. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, you know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what your favorite game and least favorite game was. Tell me my hottest and coldest take. With all that shit being said, though, I'm gonna hop off and get this shit edited. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Thursday, and as always, I will see you in the next video.